in the age before humanity dared to kindle its first hearthfires, when the world was a tapestry of wild magic and untamed lands, a child was born under a moon that wept silver fire. His name was Lycaon. From the moment he took his first breath, there was something different about him. His eyes, they were never one color, never one form. They shifted like liquid mercury, a swirling vortex of possibilities. The village elders, their faces etched with the wisdom of ages, would gather and whisper in hushed tones. They said he was touched, blessed, or perhaps cursed by Proteus, the ancient, primordial god of the seas and of endless transformation. As Lycaon grew from a boy into a young man, the whispers proved true. He discovered a strange and wondrous power stirring within him. With a mere flex of his will, a focused thought, his very essence would begin to change. His bones would bend and reshape, his skin would ripple like water, and his human form would melt away, replaced by that of a wolf, its fur the color of midnight. He could become an eagle, soaring on currents of wind with eyes that saw the world in breathtaking detail. He could be a serpent, slithering through the undergrowth, feeling the pulse of the earth itself. His power was limitless, a boundless expression of life's infinite forms. But this incredible gift was also a profound curse. No village would welcome him. They looked at his shifting eyes and saw not wonder, but deceit. They saw his transformations and called him an abomination, a devil, a trickster sent to sow chaos. Fear is a poison, and it had seeped deep into the hearts of men. They drove him away with stones and curses, forcing him into a life of solitude. Lycaon was forced to wander the deep, ancient forests, a lonely figure caught between worlds, belonging to neither man nor beast. He was an outcast, a king with a kingdom of one, his only subjects the silent trees and the whispering wind. In his isolation, Lycaon found a strange sort of peace. He learned the language of the forest, the calls of the beasts, the rustle of leaves. He became a part of the wild, a living, breathing piece of its untamed spirit. Yet, a deep ache of loneliness resided in his heart. He yearned for connection, for acceptance, for a place to call home. He was a man who wore many faces, yet felt he had no true face of his own. He was a master of form, but a stranger to his own soul. The world saw a monster, but beneath the fur, feathers and scales was a heart that beat with a very human rhythm, a heart that longed for belonging. But the gods, in their infinite and often inscrutable wisdom, have a peculiar fondness for things that are broken, for souls that are lost. They see the beauty in the cracks, the strength in the scars. And so it was that one day, as Lycaon sat by a babbling brook in the form of a great stag, a voice came to him. It wasn't a sound that entered his ears, but a thought that blossomed in his mind, carried on the whisper of the wind. It was a voice of clarity, of wisdom, of authority. It was the voice of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategy. Her presence a sudden, sharp focus in the hazy green of the forest. Lycaon, she said, her voice echoing not with judgment, but with purpose. You hide in these shadows, believing yourself a curse. But your gift is not meant for the darkness alone. It is a tool, a weapon, a key. You have spent your life running from what you are, but the time for running is over. Lycaon, startled, felt his form ripple, his antlers receding as he shifted back into the shape of a man, vulnerable and exposed before the unseen goddess. He looked around, his quicksilver eyes wide with a mix of fear and awe, trying to find the source of the divine voice that had pierced his solitude. Athena's presence lingered, a palpable weight in the air. A storm is coming, Lycaon. Her voice continued, calm and steady as the ancient stones. not a storm of rain and thunder, but one of ambition and destruction, a force that even the greatest mortal heroes cannot face. For what can a sword do against an enemy that has no single form? What can a shield block when the attack comes from within? What resists steel may yet yield to fluidity, to adaptation, to the very nature you possess. The goddess's words were not a command, but an invitation, a challenge that resonated deep within Lycaon's very being. She painted a picture for him, a vision of a future where his shapeshifting was not a source of fear, but a wellspring of hope. Embrace what you are, son of Proteus, Athena urged. Stop seeing yourself through the fearful eyes of others. See yourself as I see you, a protector, a guardian, a force of nature. If you can master your gift, if you can learn to wield it with courage and intent, you may walk among your people not as a curse, but as their shield. You can be the one who stands in the gap, the one who changes the tide. The choice is yours, Lycaon. Will you remain a shadow in the forest, or will you become the light that holds back the dark? With that, her presence receded, leaving Lycaon alone once more. The silence of the forest now filled with the weight of her words. For the first time, someone had seen his power not as a monstrous flaw, but as a heroic potential. A seed of purpose was planted in his lonely heart. The path Athena offered was fraught with peril, far more dangerous than his solitary existence. It meant facing the world that had rejected him, fighting for people who had called him a monster. But it also offered a chance at redemption, a chance to define himself not by the fear of others, but by his own actions. Lycaon looked at his hands, watching the skin shimmer and change, the patterns swirling like smoke. He thought of the villagers who had cast him out, of their terror and their hatred. But then he thought of their children, their laughter, their innocent faces. He thought of the world in all its fragile beauty, and the coming storm Athena had prophesied. A decision began to form, solidifying from the fluid uncertainty of his soul. He would no longer be a victim of his gift. He would become its master. He would rise from the shadows, not as Lycaon the outcast, but as Lycaon the protector. He straightened his shoulders, and for the first time, his shifting eyes settled, holding a single, unwavering color, the steely gray of resolve. His journey was just beginning. Thank you so much for watching this tale unfold. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more myths and legends from the ancient world, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the bell so you won't miss our next adventure into the past. We'll see you in the next video.